What's up, everybody? I'm Ryan Missler. We are at Fremont Speedway for the Jim Ford Classic, and we're going to be following along the Sealing race car team driven by Greg Wilson and wrenched on by Andy Potter. We tracked down Greg Wilson. He's driver of the 97 Sealing sprint car, and the first memories I have of Greg Wilson is sitting in the stands at Attica and him ringing the top in the 63 car.
Yeah.
Now, tell me a little bit on when was that in your racing career? That's obviously earlier, like maybe 20 years ago or so.
Yeah, it's
right. So how long have you been racing before that, and tell me a little bit about that and after that.
So I started racing when I was 15. Wasn't really supposed to be. But I was almost 16 years old, and we started racing the family car at Lima Land, 305 360s at the time. Actually started with manual steering. So I grew up in a deal where it was pretty old school. And then I was lucky enough to do okay, and ham shot with my uncle, and that was my dream to drive my uncle's car. My hero was Hod, and obviously Hod and Hewitt, those two were the Hod drove when I was really little, and then Hewitt obviously won a ton of races for my uncle. So I was fortunate enough in '98 that I had ran around in our own car, lucky enough to have some rides for some different people, Nickel Brothers, Dan and Nancy Lata Lima, and then I got into Bob's car, and then we were fortunate enough to kind of team up with Roger McLean from Lima, and run his 360 car in Bob's car, and did that to 05, and then was kind of at a crossroads. We had a lot of success. Wish that would have carried on a little longer, but it was kind of one of them deals with time. And
so when did you get into? Tell us a story about how you got into your uncle's car.
Well, it was really pretty cool. I was pretty frustrated because at the time he had started bouncing around with drivers because Jack got hurt. He had put some guys in it, and I don't know, me being young and I guess a little bit too cocky. I just remember one night I made him pretty mad because we beat his car with another driver, and I had a ton of respect for the driver. The driver's a legend. But anyways, I ran my mouth a little bit, and it was wrong. But at the time, that made him understand how bad I wanted to drive his car, I feel like. And fortunately, his daughter, which is now Chad Kiminal's wife, my cousin Tracy, she pushed pretty hard to get me the opportunity. And it was in '98, and I remember it was a Sunday morning, and I live a lot by faith and what I believe in. And I was literally sitting there, and we were debating if I was going to run the car I was running, and driving forward to go to Millstream that night, and they weren't sure if they wanted to go, and I was actually getting ready to go to church with my grandmother. Camp calls my phone, and he says, "Hey, you wouldn't mind wanting to drive my car tonight?" And I mean, that's your, and I literally started bawling. I mean, I'm a pretty emotional guy, but like, that's a dream come true. Like, I only got to do it once. I mean, how cool is that? And the rest was kind of like, I was fortunate enough that he knew I wanted to do it, and I had good work ethic, and that helped his whole program. I learned I learned a lot of what I know from racing from him.
Cool. So you got in there, you went racing Millstream that night.
Yep.
And then how'd you do in the first night?
I don't really remember. I just remember the one thing that it's kind of a cool story. Like, that's the first time I've ever really got to drive for somebody that, I remember a legend, and I remember that, when we didn't have a lot of money, and so when I was driving our own car and some of the other guys' cars, you're very careful about being careful with engines and things like that. And at the time, Bob was running Fords, And this is just a little cool story, but like maybe like this, after a month, we're at Millstream one night, and Ford keeps overheating, but it's running good, and we're fast. And I come in and I'm like, Bob, I pulled off, and the heat or whatever it was, I'm like, this thing ain't gonna make it. He's like, listen, I'll fix it. And I went up to the radio. He's like, you go pay attention to what you need.
He's gonna fix it right now.
Yeah, he's gonna fix this thing. Keep it from overheating. It's overheated every night that we ran it because they had this thing on kill, like, lots of compression, lots of everything, so it run really good. So I come back to go get the car for the feature, and he's like, don't you worry about it. I said, what, you get her fixed up? Yeah, don't worry about it. I get in, there's duct tape over the gauges. I start laughing. I'm like, what does that mean? He's like, listen, I own this car. I hired you to win the race. He said, you go win a race. And we ran pretty good. I mean, I don't remember if we were wrong, but that was kind of one of them lessons that you learn how to be a driver.
Yeah. Don't look down.
Yeah, don't worry about them gauges. You just, if it quits, I'll handle it. Don't worry about it. You're not in trouble. You just go win. And,
Gotcha.
So I could probably go on and on, just like a lot of guys that have done it.
Sure.
My memories with Bob and their team, I'll cherish that forever.
How long did you race with Bob?
So from 98 to 2005, we ran. I had some opportunities. Bob was super busy at the engine shop. We were kind of butting heads a little bit because I wanted to go racing more. He really couldn't go racing more. Long and short, I had a pretty good opportunity to go drive for Jack Eldon on the 22 car that Todd drove forever. And so at the end of Ohio Speed Week, we were fortunate enough to win the last leg of Ohio Speed Week. I tell everybody he fired me. It's an ongoing joke between me and Bob, but it was pretty cool to win basically my last full-time deal with Bob.
Yeah, that's going out with a bang.
Yeah, and so then I drove for Eldon from the end of that year, the middle of that year to the end of the year. And Jack was pretty old. He ended up, the All-Star Plumbing guy, I started driving for Burl Warnemont in 06. But at the end of 05, Burl had another team wanted to start second. And Camp kind of influenced the whole thing and got me met with Burl. It's kind of one of them, another story that's pretty cool. Burl was from the town 3 miles over from where I grew up. We weren't real far apart in age. He had a successful business. I knew how to run a race car team because the way Bob and one of my own farm, family's farm. So I helped run his whole team and did that. My team, the 20 car that we still have today, I would have never been able to be in that position if it wasn't for Burl Warnemont. So Jack Eldon actually sold us a lot of stuff to get his team going for me in 06. Ran for Burl from 06 to really 2014, but really from about 2010 or 12, somewhere in that range, I kind of had ran the team on my own, with his equipment, but made it all work. He was a huge part of my career. We won 2 All-Star championships with Burl, and Burl's still a good friend and somebody that I can lean on for the business side of things.
Gotcha. So you've raced, like you said, All-Stars. You've traveled with the Outlaws, and now you're running the Ceiling 97. I know I don't race a whole lot, on the road, but I know when I do go on the road, when it's hot, it's 95 degrees outside, and we don't have a big toter home or anything, so we're a small team, and and you're kind of a small team out there traveling around. Did it get to be where when we go, it kind of feels like a grind if you don't do good or whatever, and you're out on the road? Did it get to feel like a grind when you're out there, or are you having a blast all the time that you were doing? A little bit of both?
The racing side of things got pretty. It was pretty easy to get beat up. For the last, 6 years or 7 years of having my own team, I had some pretty good helpers, but I never really had a crew chief. And when we did the outboard thing, I was my own crew chief, and you just couldn't do it at that level.
I feel your pain.
Yeah, exactly. Racing. I always say, I don't care if you have a truck, if you have a sprint car, if you have a NASCAR, you gotta have the right team to race at certain levels to be competitive. And it just got to where my daughters, my deal's very family oriented. That's part of the reason why the Ceiling deal works really well is, Andy's got a couple girls, Him and I have been friends for a long time. Joe and Diane are wonderful, wonderful people. It's got a family feel to it. But that's how my team was. All my partners, which have come along, Hercules Tire, DNC Hydraulics, and Ohio Logistics, it's all very family oriented. We've kept it that way. And when we were doing the outlaw thing the last year, I just got so beat up mentally, physically. I could look myself at the end of the year, I looked myself in the mirror and I was like, man, I'm slowly killing myself because you can't sleep. You want to win and run good. You're used to being competitive, and you're not. And you're trying to do all the right things, all the right pieces in place, and you just like beating your head against the wall. And just got frustrated. And actually, partway through this year, during Ohio Speed Week, it was the same way. And I had made up my mind after Ohio Speed Week that something was changing. And Andy came and helped me on my car earlier in the year for one night. It was successful. And at least for the moment, this couldn't be any better deal. As far as getting back to being competitive, a lot less stressful. I'm able to take care of my partners and intertwine that with Joe and Diane's situation, try to help each other. And I hope we're building something here. This time of year is always rough because I take care of all my own sponsor stuff. There's nobody that really helps do that. So I'm going through some meetings and stuff now, and hopefully as it plays out, it'll continue on and roll like it's been rolling.
Good deal. Well, we're going to try to capture all of what you just described here tonight at the racetrack here at Fremont for the Jim Ford Classic.
Yeah. Hey, thank you guys, and thanks for what you're doing for the sport. I mean, I know you guys got your own team, but I went back and looked at some stuff that you guys have done, and it's pretty cool. And all that stuff, especially in today's world, the social media aspect is huge. And I'm learning that still to this day. I'm pretty old school, so thank you for what you guys are doing.
No, thanks for letting us do it.
Yeah.
I look forward to it. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
So it rained here during the day, and they got a lot of rain on the racetrack, and they've been trying to run it in, but they just announced that without any cars hitting the track, they just announced that they are canceling tonight. So it's a 2-day show. We're coming back tomorrow. We are going to come back tomorrow and do this all over again.
Yeah, that's what they were saying. I said, we're double neighbors. They even come down to pick you up, Joe. They think I'll make sure you get back if you get too wound up.
I see how I like their transportation, and one of his shoes is about wore out.
They're on their way up here. Go ahead.
All right, this is Andy Potter, the brains of the operation.
How you doing?
What do you think about what just happened here?
I think it was a waste of time. We kind of knew it was going to happen, but I applaud them for giving in a little bit of an effort. Again, had some things I really wanted to try today. That was
On like a wet track type thing?
anything. It's just something new. So it doesn't matter what kind of track it was. I was wanting to do it just so we can kind of get some kind of an idea.
So now tomorrow, are you gonna do that or no?
I don't know yet.
They don't want to give away your secrets.
Well, no, we may hot lap and see, and then just kind of go from there. It's something like real different.
Cool.
We've been pretty successful with been running some coil springs on the back of the car. Been running one on the right rear. We haven't done both yet, so that's kind of what we were wanting to do and kind of see how it's going to work. But
nice.
we've been fast without them, so it's kind of why I'm like on the fence of whether I should try it or not. But when the All-Stars are in town, we want to try getting better.
Right on. Well, we'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Thank you very much.
Well, it's Saturday afternoon. We made it back to Fremont. They had a rain shower overnight, so the track is still very, very sloppy Joe. It's very wet. They got all the push Jeeps and push trucks out there rolling in the track, working it up, trying to dry it out. We got a couple hours still till race time, but it might be another long night. So we'll see. Hopefully they get it run in and we have a good night of racing. All right, we found Greg. How you feeling? What's the track look like?
Obviously after the rain last night, the track's going to be a little touch and go, I think. I think it's one of those things that you're probably not going to know what you get until some cars get on it and get at speed. Track crew here at Fremont's worked their tails off to give us a good racetrack, but when you get that much rain, it's just really hard, and this many race cars, you know, just pretty optimistic on the track right now.
Yeah, so we looked at it, and it was really sloppy on the backstretch, kind of soft, but there is some hope. Like the top of the corners looked like they were kind of showing, you know, for compared to everything else, they might be a little drier than the rest. So let's hope.
Like I said, I mean, you never know, and you know, Roger Campbell and his crew that's kind of taken it over here the last year and a half, I think. You know, it's still a learning curve, and you know, like I said, I've seen them working their tails off. I know what they want to put on a good race, and you know, I think all the racers know we'll do our best to you know, make the best of the situation.
Hammer down.
Yeah, exactly.
Andy, you just changed the shock, and yet this thing's been sitting here for like 3 hours, and they're calling you up there for engine heat, and you're changing the shock. Why'd you do that?
It's just going to be rough. I know it's going to be rough, so I just put a little bit stiffer compression right for the shock on it.
All right, I'm just giving you a hard time.
Just help keep it getting on the right front a little bit.
Gotcha. What hot laps feel like out there?
The track actually is pretty slick in one end and a little choppy and rough at the other, and the straightaways are got a little more grip than Fremont normally has, but track's better shape than I thought. We were wheel spinning a little bit more than what we probably need to be. So I see Andy making some changes here.
I was gonna say Andy was thrashing on the car.
We had some stuff on the car that we keep working with, and you know, with this level of competition, you just got to be careful of what you throw at it, and you know, so I don't know what he did, but it probably looks like we probably went back to more of our basic deal for right now, and then we'll work on that some other night.
Gotcha. So you go out in the fifth session of qualifying, right?
Yeah, we're pretty late. I think we're I think the next last car to go, or the last group of cars to go. So late. I went up and watched a little bit. I don't think the track's going to change a whole lot qualifying. I mean, it kind of is what it is right now. You know, so hopefully we can at least cut a good lap for our group, and you know, start us up front in our heat race, and you know, work on the next step. group, so we'll start outside the front row for the heat, and another take 4. So hopefully we can get away and get going and get us in the dash. But my goal every night with this much competition is get it in the race, and then I feel like you got plenty of time in the future to make things happen. But yeah, so far so good. Changes made after hot laps there was a little better, and we'll keep working at it.
Very good. Hey, buddy. So you get to get your picture taken with the track champions at Fremont, right? Yeah. What'd you get? You got a trophy. Very good. Go ahead. Go out there, buddy.
Go ahead. You already met DJ, remember? This is our kids' club tonight.
Hey Greg, you went so fast the GoPro broke off the back.
Yeah, they got it down at the trailer.
I heard.
Yeah, we needed that. That at least gives us a shot to start up front tonight. And you know, I can't thank first off Hercules Tire, High Logistics, and DNC Hydraulics for sticking with me and believing in me. And you know, Andy Potter, Joe and Diane Sealing, my wife and kids, the other Joe that's helping. They got this 97 car more comfortable every night, and we'll see what we got.
Honey Crisp apples are the best. If you see the Washington apple sticker on the apple, that means you're getting sage fruit, and that means you're gonna eat the best apple in the world. I think that one's gonna come back. Yellow flies, yes. Cap Henry. See that at PWR Quality Cooling Solutions Restart Zone. You know Cap is anxious. He's been close to winning the Jim and Joanne Ford Classic.
What do you see out there? That was a B main.
It's getting pretty rough, but they're going to go out and box blade it. I think it's going to be a race where you try to run as hard as you can and not make too many mistakes and be there at the end. It's just gotten so rough that, I mean, there's some guys breaking, race cars breaking just because it's so choppy, but kind of the nature of the beast tonight.
Did you learn anything in the dash?
I was being pretty careful. I felt like that, you know, full fuel load, what we were going to learn in the dash, to me, wasn't going to be mean a whole lot if I wrecked it. So, you know, 40 laps is a long time. And after watching that, I'm kind of glad I'm thinking that way. Hopefully I can be aggressive enough to stay with them and then be there at the end.
Circuit of Champions presented by Mobile One and everyone here at Fremont Speedway. We thank you so much for joining us, and off in turn number 4, we invite you to your feet to salute tonight's A-Main starting field. Fremont Speedway, out of your seat and on your feet. Ladies and gentlemen, he's tied with Dave Blaney rounding out the top 5. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here at the Jim and Joanne Ford Classic, run here for Gold Mosquito, I believe.
crew chief thoughts after that 40 lap vigorous aiming.
Needs to be a little bit better. Not quite sure. Said he feels like either a shock or a bar went bad or something. Like third restart, he said it got real tight. So get her back to the shop and get things taken apart and see if we got something back.
With a track like that, that's probably could be likely.
Yes.
A lot of cars breaking stuff.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, not a bad run. It's not his kind of racetrack, so we'll take it and move on.
Very good. Thanks for letting us annoy you guys, Andy.
Well, thank you very much for coming and doing this.
It was fun. All right, Greg. What do you think about that feature? It looked a little demanding.
Yeah. Glad we rolled it back in the box.
That's a win.
Little frustrated. I felt like early on the race I was kind of biding my time a little bit. I kept seeing the board under cautions, and after about the third caution, then I don't know if we had a tire goof up or a shock, or I don't know, but I couldn't get it to set down after that. But you know, that's harder than heck to freaking mechanic a car and drive a car on something like that. So happy with the night, happy with the way things have been going. We were fast all night long and competitive, so you know, roll on to the next one.
That's right. Well, thanks for letting us be in your way, and AJ's making. Woo! He's all jacked up.
This guy's a hero.
That's AJ. He works on that car over there.
I've known AJ since he was about this big, and he's been full of the whole time. He's just gotten bigger.
His kids around watching play with both.
So he's been making faces at us, trying to screw up our final thoughts here, but we're not going to let him.
Right.
Even though
that's what this is about. You're supposed to have some fun. Really appreciate what you guys did tonight, and you know, look forward to paying attention to what you do racing. And you know, I just feel like I'm blessed and fortunate to just get to still drive race cars for a living, and you know, just excited to keep rolling.
Heck yeah, well, thanks a lot. We appreciate it. Thanks to the Ceilings, you know, thanks to Andy and the whole crew and your wife and the girls and everything for being good sports. So we appreciate
you as well. It was great meeting your little boy, and you know, really appreciate what you and your wife did for the week.
Thanks, Greg.
All right, thank you.
All right, so I hope you guys liked that Fremont Speedway sprint car video. It's a little change of pace from our late models, but thanks everybody. I hope you enjoyed the video. Comment below what you thought of the video, and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already, and we'll see you next trip.